Welcome to another episode of That's Some Crazy Shit with Kelly and James. My name is Kelly, and my co-host with the most is James. What's up, dude?
What's going on? Just happy to be here again.
Yes, me too. So today, if you are a big gamer, if you are into anime, we have the perfect guest for you. His name is Spike Spencer. He is a voice actor, and I didn't know this, he's a certified coach on dating and relationships.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He is best known for his character, Shinji Ikari, on the anime show Neon Genesis
Evangelion.
Let's do that again.
We had to practice that.
Yeah, Neon Genesis
Evangelion.
Yeah, that, and he's been doing that character for a very long time, like 20 years or whatever.
I know, huh?
You know, so if you're a big anime fan, you know who this guy is. He's done a lot. He's done video games. I know that I saw his credits on like World of Warcraft, and he's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he really has.
So I'm excited to talk with him. He is a comedian. He cracks me up. He's so great to talk to. I just say we bring him on.
Let's do it.
All right, welcome to the podcast, voice actor Spike Spencer.
Spike, welcome. Glad to have you. We were excited when I talked to you the first time. To say that you have crazy shit going on in your life is an understatement. How you got down to Australia? Let's just start there.
Okay. Well, hi everybody. I'm Spike Spencer, and one of the things I do is a voice actor. And so March of 2020, I was appearing at a convention in Melbourne, Australia, and in the Gold Coast. And right about that time is when things started to go COVID crazy. And we pulled into the Gold Coast the day Tom Hanks said he had COVID.
Wow.
And he was literally blocks away from us because he was filming on the Gold Coast. And so the whole, world went, oh my God, Tom Hanks, everybody can get it. American sweetheart. Damn it. So it's like, okay. So everybody kind of went nuts, and literally we were staying there for an extra week after that, and everything started to shut down. And we weren't sure if, Qantas was gonna not fly anymore. And so we made a decision to stay for a little while because we had a visa, 2 more months. So we were fine. And we're like, okay, we'll wait it out and then it'll clear up, and then we'll go home in a couple months. We'll have a little extended, quote unquote vacation. 2 years later, here we are. I'm talking to you right now from an Airbnb in the mountains, Mount Tambourine. We're on a little vacation here. This is our little getaway, Mount Tambourine. And so we've been here. We are now, almost 2 years. It's a year and a half, a little year and a half here. I'm now in culinary school, so I can get a student visa so we can stay longer. And yeah, I'm still doing voiceover. I had all my stuff shipped over, so now I've got my voiceover studio, and I just did one of the biggest animes in history called Evangelion. We just did that from a closet in Pimpama. So, that's some crazy stuff. Now, since I talked to you guys last, even more crazy is we just had a baby.
That's right.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
And even more crazy, I delivered him in the tub in our apartment.
Oh, that is crazy.
Welcome to my life.
Yes.
It's amazing. He's an amazing little boy, and we were going to do it natural, which we did the first one. I say we. I was there too. My wife did all the work, right? And so we had a midwife that was going to come over, and they said, call whenever she's this much dilated and everything's this much apart. And so we called, and I'm on the phone, and our doula, who's just a friend of ours who wants to be a doula, she wasn't really a doula yet. She was there, and she goes, I see a head. I'm like, so off I go, and I'm like, oh, look, there's my son. So she had it in the tub, and he popped out. I went, oh, there you go, honey.
Wow.
See you later. And then the midwife showed up about 10 minutes, 15 minutes later. And my wife is amazing. Number one, she's just absolutely incredible. And we had our first baby on camera. Basically, it's on Netflix. It's called Being Dad, and they followed us around for the last 3 months of her pregnancy. And then so there were like 7 or 8 different dads, and I was one of them featured because a couple of different reasons. One, my wife and I have 19 years difference, so she's 19 years younger than me. And that's right, fellas, I've got a dating book. We'll talk about that. And and it works, I know. And I had back issues then, which also went away. Crazy shit. I read a book and my back stopped hurting after 20 years. We can talk about that if you want.
Yeah, anyway, that is crazy.
But that's the craziness that is my life at this moment in time. Cheers.
Wow.
So I know that because my son is a big fan of your voiceover. You have a huge voiceover career. I was looking at your wiki, and I can't really say I know a lot of people personally who have a wiki page. So I actually found you on wiki, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty fucking impressive, sir. I have a wiki. I'm sorry I had to say it, but
I haven't seen my wiki, so
you have one. You do have one, and so
that's right. I've got a very long wiki. So
my
son just going down the tubes now, isn't it?
No,
we're right here. This is why we're great. That's why we're here.
Yeah, no, my son is a big fan with all the things that you do, just being a voiceover actor. So I'm just curious, how did you fall into that? How did you fall into doing this anime voiceover character? And I don't know the character, so you got to do the voice so that I know this character. And tell us about it.
The character, his voice is more like this. He's young, and he pilots a big monstery mech and saves the world and destroys the world too. Oops. But that's one of the things I'm known for is younger voices and psychos. So psychos are a lot more fun to play. Yeah, the psychos are a lot more fun to play. So I've been an actor for 30 years, and I was in Houston, and I was on camera, and I tell people like, oh, you do voices? I'm like, yeah, I'm an actor. I mean, I've been on camera, and like, oh, really? They didn't even know. I'm like, I've been on camera. I've had scenes with 4 Academy Award nominees. 2 of them won. I acted with them, and people are like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, nobody cares. But I was working on a film with a woman named Amanda Wynn Lee, who directed Animae dubs. Oddly enough, in Houston, at a place called AD Vision, back in the 90s, was kind of one of the only places where anime was being dubbed. And she's like, you do all these crazy voices, you want to come do some dubbing? And I'm like, sure. I mean, does it pay? Yeah, I'm there, I'm an actor. That's what we do. So I went and dubbed and got a role in a show and a couple more, and then I started doing more shows, and then Evangelion came along, and just like anything else, I auditioned for it and I got it, and that's turned out to be the most amazing thing in my life as far as work goes, because I did 26 episodes and then 2-3 movies, and then years later they went and redid the whole thing in 4 big movies, which we just finished literally months ago. The 4th one came out, and it was like one of the biggest things ever in Japan. Huge. So that's pretty cool. So I got the cred of doing this character for 25 plus years, and being a 52-year-old man who talks like a 13-year-old, you know. It's like, well, there you go. You got a weird life, son. Yes, I do.
That is funny. But you know what? You can do all of these voices. And do people like know like who you are? Do you know what I mean? Like
from your voice.
Sometimes. I mean, if I go to a convention, mostly, and if they see a picture of me up there, like, oh, he's the guy, you know. I'm still struggling with building my YouTube channel, my Twitter, and all of that. And so go to my Twitter, go to my YouTube. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool because people don't really know it unless they hear your voice. But if they hear just my voice, it's not really like, oh, I know that voice. But if I do this voice, wait a second.
I know who are you?
Who are you, man? Every now and then somebody will recognize me, but very, very seldom, which is kind of cool, really.
I have a question for you, Spike.
Yeah, go ahead, James.
Which villain is your favorite?
I did a villain called, he's a hero, really, but he's kind of a villain. He's called Colonel Kled from League of Legends. And I was also Wukong the Monkey King in there. So Colonel Kled is what's called a yordle. He'll eat you. And he's just this little cantankerous guy. He was basically patterned off of Yosemite Sam. Only not quite as, you know, rootin' tootin', you know, that kind of crazy. But he was, it's like, he would say something like, I'm gonna rip out your spine and use it for a back scratcher. You know, I'm like, I'm like, I love that guy. He was so much fun to do. And it was a lot of fun. It was hard on my voice, but I mean, that was one where we did like 4 hours one day, 3 hours the next day, then went over the weekend and then did like 2 hours and 1 hour. And it's like after 3-4 hours, you know, I'm like, okay, see you tomorrow. And I was just like, I hope I can tomorrow. And then did.
That was a video game, right?
Yeah, it's a video game that it's an online, I believe, video game thing that you can go on and on, like World of Warcraft kind of thing.
So how do you figure out like what the voices are going to sound like? Do they ask you if you can do this or that voice, or do you come up with the voice for the character on your own?
Both ways. I mean, whenever we get, like, I'm in the process of doing some auditions right now for a show, and there are like 50 voices. So I go through and like, I can do that one, I can do that one, I can do that one, I'll do that one, and I'll just come up with the character. And I'll usually do like 2 voices for each character. To say, oh, this is a young person or animal or whatever it is, and I'll do it one way, and then I'll kind of tweak it a little bit and do another little voice and send those in. And then what's the next one? Oh, this is somebody's dad, and he's this way, and now he's kind of goofy in the second take, you know, that kind of thing. So I give my take on it. However, I come up with my characters, and sometimes they don't even give you like visuals, so it's kind of out there. It's like, well, whatever. I was like, I don't really know what this character is. Oh, he's a talking sponge. Well, why didn't you tell me that? That could have led some, you know, help me. But you know, for the most part, once you get a character down, then you come in, and then the director tweaks it. And so you're there with the director, and then we're like, okay, let's age him a little bit. Let's make him 2%, 10% more, you know, wacky, or, you know, that kind of thing. So we just kind of dial it in.
That is cool.
So after doing all these voices, I mean, how do you take care of your voice?
Scotch. No. I don't. No. You know, it's funny because I don't really. I guess it's what you put into yourself is really the thing, and I'm not like super holistic, but we try to eat well. And I really only drink like coffee, water, and wine. So it's like an Italian Jesus diet. You know, it's like have a coffee, here's a wine. You know, and that's really it. I don't drink a bunch of crap. I don't drink energy drinks or sodas or any of that stuff. But I know if I'm going to be doing something that's going to be stressful, I'll watch it. I'll watch the wine, and I'll go with more, get some hot tea, get some green tea, some honey tea, lemon tea, that kind of thing. If I know I'm going to be doing something, it just depends on what I'm working on. but I try to keep myself in shape, and that's key for voice actors. You do need to be in some form of shape, because it's hard to be screaming, and you have to have your diaphragm and work with your throat, and you know, it's just being healthy is better, because it does take stamina. If you're in the booth for 4 hours, it's like, oh God, that's hard.
So do you find that for voiceovers, like, you know, when you go audition, are you auditioning for like Disney, Pixar? Are you more on the anime side of things? Is it a competitive world, I guess? Is voice acting different from being acting in front of the camera? Is it still kind of the same politics, I guess I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's it's very competitive. There are thousands of people going up for roles. For example, I got a role called, I was Mitch in a Nickelodeon show called Get Blake. And my agent told me 20,000 people auditioned for this thing.
Wow.
Whoa, cool, you know, and I got it out of that. So anytime you're doing something, there's a lot of competition. And all of it, they're all different. I don't really do on camera now. I would like to, but I haven't been going for it. It's just, I would love to, but I'm not really in a place to do that now, especially now that I'm in Australia. But then again, that could change, you know, tomorrow. I could get a role in something. I don't go out for anime per se. It's just something that I did fall into. And I'm not even the most popular at all. I mean, like I said, my Twitter and my YouTube are, so there are people that have done anime far less than me who have crazy millions of followers. And I'm like, how did you do that? Because, you know, I work at it and it's like, So it's not that, it's very, very competitive, yes. And it's like anything else. There's certain groups that, you know, once you're inside the realm, then you're going to be working. Like a friend of mine told me, he said, Hollywood's like this. Once you get in, it's like there's this big wall around Hollywood. There's one little door. Everybody's trying to get in that door. Once you're in that door, you're in. You know, like you may be a C actor, but you're still inside the walls. You know,
still made it through the little door, right?
Yeah, you made it through the door once. You're at least in there. You know, so voiceover wise, I'm in there because I've been in there, but I'm still kind of on the outskirts. You know, it's not like, I'm still able to go to conventions around the world, but not like somebody on like Family Guy or The Simpsons or things like that.
Right.
That's the holy freaking grail. My God, they're making bank.
Yeah.
Money wise and such, success wise. I don't know what the hell Wiki told you, but anime is the lowest paid job in voiceover, and it's the hardest.
Wow.
Really?
So, you know, like I told you, my son is a big fan, and so he wanted to come again and ask a question. So he's here. He's dying to ask you a question.
Okay.
So I'm going to let him ask you a couple questions. Is that okay, James?
Fine with me. Introduce him, County.
Yeah, so this is my son, Savion. He's a big gamer. He likes anime, that type of thing. And so when I told him that we were going to be speaking with you and I showed him your wiki, he was incredibly impressed. And so he is wanting to ask you some questions. So we're going to let him do that. Okay, Spike?
Absolutely. Well, let me say one thing before he asks. I have no idea what's on my wiki page, so take that all with a grain of salt. If you want to see what really is about me, go to my website, Spike Spencer.
And what's your website? Call it out for us.
SpikeSpencer.com. Very simple.
Gotcha. Simple. I like it. All right, Savion, take it away.
All right. So my first question is, did they ever ask for Netflix in regards to Ava? Did they ever ask you to contact you to do their dub, or they were like a no contract about it?
Nope. They weren't going to. The only reason I got the chance to audition, and Tiffany did, and Amanda did, we all auditioned. It was, the NDA is up now. I won't say anything bad about Netflix because that was their prerogative. But if anybody says, oh yeah, we were going to call them in, anyway, that's a lie, actually. They were not going to. It was through the grapevine. I found out and said, oh, hey, cool. You guys are doing it. That's awesome. Well, I'm Shinji. I've been Shinji for all this time. And they're like, yeah. well, it's yours to lose. Come on in. And I'm like, well, okay, great. You know, cool thing though, which was funny, is I said, look, since I'm auditioning here, can I audition for Gendo? Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah, see, me and Kelly are like, what?
Too, yeah. So that was fun. I found that enjoyable. So, but yeah, as far as that goes, they weren't going to. It was just sort of the dog and pony show. You know, it's, oh, we'll bring them in, because it was only because they were not going to at all. So, yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but they're prerogative.
Did you ever have a favorite episode of the original series?
Gosh, the original series, there was one episode that was really funny when I think it was when he met Pen Pen, and it was the scene where he was like runs out of the shower and it's like he's naked and they got that pencil thing in front of his junk. It was just a hysterical little thing. That was fun.
Did you ever meet Hideki Anno, and so how did the interaction go?
Never did. I've never met him.
Wow.
Nope. No. I did meet, let's see, no, I think I met the woman who plays Asuka in Japan, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think she came to a convention in Phoenix that I was at once. Because Tiffany was there as well. So I think I believe that was how it went. I could be completely wrong in that. I did meet the woman who played Akito in Nadesico in Seattle, and her agent kept calling me, that's a hole. So I don't know. It was like one of the only words he knew in English. That's a hole. So.
Are you getting any big projects next? Anything we can look forward to?
Yes, and I can't say anything about them. So, yeah, I got a few things that are coming out soon. So just keep an eye on my Twitter, and that's where I post most of my stuff, is on Twitter. And I've got my YouTube channel going now, so now I'm doing videos, and I just did React videos that you'll like. Go to my YouTube channel and watch my 2
I will
React
definitely
videos.
go ahead and do that after this. I think that answers all my questions I got.
All right, so yeah.
Cool.
I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you, Spence.
My pleasure.
Thank you. He's been dying to do that ever since I told him we were going to speak to you. And so just before we started doing the podcast, I said, well, look, I'm talking to Spike Spencer. And he was like, oh shit. I was like, are you fanboying? And he was like, yes. So you have a fan.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you. That is really cool. So Spike, tell me about your dating relationship book. I think you said you had the book for the old guys, right?
Oh, quick side note, not crazy shit. Down here in Australia in September, the magpies, they're big. They're about as big as my computer, right? And they get very territorial. Well, I was walking my baby and my toddler, bringing them through a park yesterday, and I got attacked by a magpie, hit me here in the head, bam, and drew blood back here. I was like, oh yeah, that feels interesting. So welcome to Australia.
Where everything tries to kill you.
Everything tries to kill you in Australia.
Yeah. I was like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's a cute little, it'll kill you, mate. Yeah. No, don't touch that, yeah. No way, mate. So the dating stuff is, it was originally, I was doing this at conventions, and this morphed over time. It was originally called Don't Kill Your Date and Other Cooking Tips. Because during my first marriage, I always thought I wanted to write a cookbook for bachelors because I like to cook, and I thought it was great, and I thought I had a really good relationship. Boy, was I wrong. So I was thrust, after a 13-year relationship, I was thrust into the dating pool again at 35, and in Los Angeles, no less. And it was a rough start, believe me. And I had to relearn everything and get good at dating, and I got very good at it. and studied all the dating and pickup artists, and I was constantly training and getting better and learning how to be a player again, really, and not just like player like messing with women. No, I was like, I just
a player in the dating game again.
Yeah, I just wanted to be the best man I could be. And in order to do that, I wanted to be, good dating material. I wanted to be sexy. I wanted to be smart and funny and all the good stuff. So I'd be very attractive. And add to that the fact that I could cook. It was a no-brainer. So I was teaching this method, which I call food game. And that's how I met Kim. I met her at a mixer, and our first date was my place, and I cooked. And that was that was my MO. I mean, there was no better way to have successful dates than having a woman come to your apartment and you cook. That's it. It is just great on so many levels. And the trick is, guys are like, oh, really? So you're just gonna cook for a lady? She'll come over. Cool. I'm like, yeah, but see, here's the thing, pal. You have to be the kind of man that she will come over to your apartment to be alone with you while you wield a heavy cutting instrument.
And why there's hot water boiling on that stove.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
There's a lot of trust, and you have to be a very, very attractive individual. I'm not talking about facial or body or anything. I'm just in here. She has to feel comfortable with you, and that's the whole thing behind food game, is like becoming the best man you can be and let them come to you, being that guy. And I've taught thousands over the course of my appearances at conventions and whatnot. And then I wrote the book that is on Amazon. It's called Food Game: A Man's Ultimate Recipe for Dating Success. And it really is about just becoming the best man you can possibly be and allowing that to be attractive. And that's how it works, because most guys don't get it. They don't understand it. And when I've been on many female-centric podcasts, and they're like, oh my God, how do you know all this stuff? It's like, I trained. I dated a lot of you, and had fun. And I'm still friends with like dozens of women that I dated. And they're like, yeah, cool. That's nice.
But to women, it's just not that complicated. We're under the impression that you should already know these things, right? And most men just don't know. So kudos for you to teaching others.
Yeah. Guys don't have a clue. So many don't have a clue. I'll watch. I'll say, okay, I'll go to a restaurant and I'll watch. And I'll be like, okay, watch that guy. And, woman goes by and guy's like, and I'm like, yeah, I call that the turtleneck. He's just like, and I'm like, yeah. And I'll see another guy say, that guy gets it. And the girl walks by and he goes, he just kind of checked it out. You got to think women do that really well. Women can do that. And I'll tell this to women. It's so funny. I said, okay, so you see two guys come in to the restaurant. One guy comes in, looks all over the place. It's like, and then another, and looks at you, and he's looking at you. And he's like, oh. And then the other guy walks in, gives you a quick little sideways glance and walks off. Who's attracted?
A sideways glance.
Every time. And women are like, oh my God, he knows us. So guys have to learn that, because it's really difficult. That's one of the big ones for guys, because we're very visual. Men are just very visual, and we see something like it's like we're eating. We're like, yeah. Because it's just visual feast, and it's amazing. But if you can just you got to tone that down in order to be attractive. You can't look at somebody and go, that's not attractive. But a little glance, you get that eye contact and a little smile. And that's it.
Yeah.
So I got other stuff going on in my life. It's like, ooh, that's interesting.
Very true. Very true.
I can go off on this stuff for hours. So
see, that's good advice for me, since I'm single.
Yeah.
But we also had a guest come on and tell us about how he had a possession happen on a date. So I'm a little gun shy about dating right now.
I'm sorry. He had a what?
He had a demonic experience with demonic possession
on his date.
On his date,
oh,
yeah.
See, I've had that when I drank too much. I've had that a couple of times on a couple of dates when I drank too much, and I'm like, oh, guess what? I was possessed by a demon. No, you were just an asshole.
Oops. That is funny. Oh, Spike, it has been so much fun talking to you. You've definitely given me cool points with my son, right? Who was I appreciate that because man, they're hard to get these days. So thank you so much for coming on That Some Crazy Shit and sharing with us. It's been so much fun.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure.
We will see you next time.
All righty.
Spike is a trip, man. Can you imagine living with him? You'd probably come down to coffee and he'd be like talking to you like a 12-year-old or something.
Right? All the voices that he can do. And like I said, he gave me total cool points with Savion. Now Savion's 20, and I don't know how cool you are to your parents at 20, but man, I'm telling you, my cool points increased.
Yeah, they did, man. I could just see the little meter.
He was like, how did you find this guy? So yeah, he was impressed. Thank you. Yes, mom still has it. So yeah, that made his day. And it was just cool. I bet you his world sounds so interesting and his life sounds so interesting. And just the stuff that he's done and, being this voice actor, that's really given him this really great career.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities. And then especially, in one of the worst times possible, he's still able to move, and still have a career, because you can do stuff online and stuff. But, that was crazy too, moving during the pandemic.
I don't think he said they didn't mean to move. They were just down there working.
Well, yeah, they just got stuck there.
And then you're stuck in Australia and just all the stuff that he does. So spikespencer.com is his website. He is he's a voice actor coach. He's a public speaker. He does all these other wonderful things. So definitely go check him out. It was crazy shit to have him on. I liked him a lot. That was cool.
Yep. And I'm going to get that dating book. I'll let you guys know how that works out.
Yeah, because he says he teaches you how to be a better man.
Right.
And the world could really benefit from better men.
Well, it's hard to improve on pretty good.
Hey, I just said the world, James. I said the world. The world. So I don't have anything else. You can get us on our website, which is www.thatsomecrazyshitpodcast.com. You can read James's blog. You can look at past episodes. You can drop us a line. You can check out all of our social media.
Yeah. Share stories, people. That's why we're here. We want to hear your stories.
Next week, James, we have another fantastic guest to talk about some crazy shit. But until then, I don't have anything else.
Keep your minds open, people.